Welcome back once again to the Imaginary Gallery. It's TJ, your host. Tonight is Narcissist Trash Talk. It's just a short little tidbit of information that I thought I would share with you, which is there is no equality when dealing with the narcissist, especially the covert and the other cluster B monsters. I repeat, there will be no equality. You see, because when you meet such a person, they've already got their strategy going, which has nothing to do with reality or anything to do with the narrative that's brought to you, such as, oh, I noticed you looked cute, I wanted to talk to you, or something. Whatever their opening line is, it's a camouflage. It's covering up the truth. Because what they're really doing is assessing you to see if you have the particular traits that they can exploit and take advantage of, but they would never say any of this. Plus, even if you've dealt with one and you start to uncover what they are, still there's no equality. Meaning you can point out like, hey, yeah, I noticed you've really said repeatedly that you're a really moral person day after day, but I can't help notice these immoral things. You know what? It's okay if you do a few immoral things. Let's talk about no. Anything immoral you saw was because of some retarded reason, and they will want to stick to the oh no, I am a moral person. And what's going on here is these types of people believe that they have to always have the upper hand. They have to be a step or 10 ahead of you. So when you make such statements as like the moral thing, they're going to quickly silence you and say, "Oh no, I am moral. I only did that because they don't want you thinking independently and coming to your own conclusions and realizing that they're not really what they're saying they are because that's all they've got going for them." And it can be difficult to deal with this at first because of their idealization and their flattery. And what they'll do a lot of times, I've noticed, is they will, I mean, if you're like, let's say, a previous target of narcissistic abuse, and you meet one of these, of course, you probably will because they're attracted to you because there's something about you and something about me that just draws them like flies. But you'll be distracted though from all of the flattery and all of the attention and all that. In fact, a lot of times they will make it seem like you are in total control. That's one of their specialties where they, like in one of my cases, I was like, I don't want to get close to anybody based on what I did before and what I got involved in. And they were like, oh, whenever you want to see me, we will see each other. Like, is like being completely friendly and fair, but this is all part of their scam. But I wouldn't have known that, so I'm thinking, oh, wow, that's nice. Oh, the person's being considerate. But of course, it's a scam. But yes, they have their game plan already in mind, and they're looking and listening, trying to determine what they're going to do next to try to capture you. But the deal with them is there's that compartmentalization. So they have to have power, they have to be in control, but it's kind of disguised, like in the case I just mentioned, where they met you and know that you're sensitive based on experiences, so they will act like, oh, I'll give you as much time as you need. There's another thing going on behind the scene you won't know about. But I have specific examples of the equality or lack of equality. I can refer back to an experience way back in the olden days when I was involved with a person that was a whore. It liked to pick up dates at bars and go home with them to get supply. And I didn't know any of these terms back then. But I liked this person and thought, hey, let's date. And then I noticed that these things were happening, and I was like thinking, well, I found somebody I like, let's make this work. And it was doing these other things, and so it acted like it wanted to like date me, but at the same time it would still be at these bars, and I think, what are you doing there? Didn't we have fun the last 3 nights? It got to a point where initially I thought, oh well, yeah, I like to date this person, but then when I saw all this horror behavior, I figured, well, clearly you like to have fun. Well, I guess I could have fun because I was a young 20-something-year-old kid, so I could gladly have fun with many people, but I didn't really want that. I thought like I found this one, but figured, well, when you're in Rome, you have to do as Romans do, so I said something like, well, clearly you like to date a lot of people, so I guess we can still hang out and stuff, but I'm going to go out on dates with other people too. And I heard, I don't want that. That's not what I want. I think, what? It's like you can run around with everybody, but here I am trying to capture you, and I'm being pushed away. And then so I figured, well, I'll do what you're doing, and oh no, we can't have that. Well, because there's no equality. These people want to be in control and have the upper hand. So basically, in their world, they are free to run around and do whatever with whomever privately, and you, though, are supposed to remain devoted to them. And I'm like, sorry, but that's not going to happen. But they're twisted. That's why you have to go no contact and get away, because they actually believe that they're entitled to have it that way, where they're doing whatever they want, but you're not to. And I think, sorry, but that's not working. Another one I knew claimed to be some kind of saint for the longest time, and I saw through it and figured that's a lie the whole time. But of course, the upper hand, and never admitted to game, would be like, oh no, you're wrong. Well, eventually it turned out that yes, I was not wrong. I was right, that this person clearly liked to mess around with a lot of people, even though it was trying to convince me I was the only one forever. And you think I'm some kind of child and I'm naive? But I even tried another attempt at equality with one of these, that I could hear all the words that said one thing, but then I could see all the actions that said the opposite. So I tried to use logic and brain power to say, look, clearly you like to mess around, whore, so I have an idea. And I had said something like, why don't you and I just become partners now, and we can live together and live the life of two partners? And obviously, in a few months, when you get your urges to do the things you like to do, why don't we just break up and then split? And then you can run off and do that stuff you like to do. Of course, we're all knowing all of this, and we know that in a few more months, then we'll reunite and get back together, which, of course, was totally rejected. Because remember, they want the upper hand. They don't want an equality. That would be equality if I'm in there with them, because they also know that if that happens, that the moment we break up, then I'll be free too, and they don't want that. And it's like, you people are sick. So you want to have that freedom, and their ideal situation is to find someone they can scam and lie to and say, oh baby, you're the only one for me, you better not look at anyone else. I have to work late tonight, all night, I'll be back tomorrow, while they go off and do whatever they do with whomever, but then expect you to sit at home with, no, retarded. So there is no equality. You can try, you can look at the facts objectively and say, look, I can do that too, so let's make an agreement. No, it won't happen. So if you know one of them, they're not going to join you on an equal level, even though they tell you time and time again, day and night, that they don't do whatever they're really doing. And then when you point out, Yeah, I told you did that stuff and you're doing it. Oh, I'm not doing it because of the reasons you say. I'm just doing it because it's like, you know what, forget the whole thing. And this brings me to one last piece of information I'll share, of which I had discovered, which has to do with today's modern world, because we all know that in today's technology universe, you have a lot more opportunities to meet people than you ever did back in the olden days, which will oftentimes surface in a conversation with like two people that are dating, and the subject might come up of, hey, there's a lot of people out there, I like you, but why don't we do an open relationship type thing? Well, what I've learned is that if you're dealing with a cluster B person, they already know this, and they're already doing this. So they will shut down such a statement and say, oh, well, you want to be with somebody else then. Oh, and they'll become victim, which is fake. But face it, there are lots of opportunities out there now for things, if they could be discussed. But you'll notice the cluster B will completely reject it. And I've had a few that'll say like, oh, those just never work. Open relationships never work. Well, what I have learned with such people that won't even discuss this, what they tend to do is keep that front facade on for you and act all righteous. And then, when your back is turned, they're out chasing after somebody new. And when somebody knows them and says, hey, aren't you dating that one person? What are you doing? And they will actually say, oh, we have an open relationship. They will do this. I've had at least two now that have done that. That to my face, they're like, oh, open relationships are horrible. How dare you even suggest it? And then they're having them, but fake. And I coined a term for this. It's like, you want a half-open relationship. It's open on your end. And I try to tell these people, honey, that's not going to work. It doesn't work that way, but they think it does. And it's just sickening. Because when you discuss like the natural desire for experimentation and variety, they're like, oh, I'm not like that at all. That must be you. Fake projection. And then you find out they're actually doing it, and they're telling other people that they're in an open relationship. It's just disgusting.
Now, I don't expect you to understand my lifestyle, because when I met you, my lifestyle was pretty much identical to yours, or so you thought. You had no idea the kind of life that I lived beforehand. Well, I'm going to give you a little clue. First off, I told you from day one I wanted your commitment, because I wanted you for me, and me only. And I pretended like I believed the same thing, as if I was going to do the same for you. That was fake. You see, I've never been with just one person, ever. I couldn't imagine it. But because I feel entitled, I demand that my partners are faithful to me. Well, I perfectly scheduled my own work. So when you had to work nights, I conveniently scheduled my massage appointment for the afternoon to end at early evening hours. So when you're still working into the late hours of the night, I was off work. So I used to chase after other men, and a few women too. And I would go have sex every night, and by the time you came home I'd be exhausted, and I would just act like I was tired and tell you that I love you. And you fell for it. You're retarded! But anyway, I kept doing this, having sex with at least 3 or 4 strangers a week, sometimes more.
Please give me a break and don't ask me any questions about the L word. Not lesbian. Love. I ain't got a clue what that means. You probably think I'm a cold, heartless bitch, but I'm who I am, and you're just gonna have to accept it. I wish you luck. And don't tell me I ruined your life again. It was your fault. I only found someone else because you didn't pay enough attention to me, so don't blame me for your actions.
Well, I finally did it. You'll never believe what squeezed out of my Virginia. Take a look at it. It's my own flesh and blood. Take a look at it. It's transhuman. It's my baby.